Erin, thank you so much for being here today. We're so grateful that we get to interview you. I would love if you could introduce yourself.
Well, first of all, thank you, Courtney, for inviting me, for having me here. It's a fantastic opportunity, to talk about something that took 3 years of my life, right? So at least people have a chance to hear about it. So, with regards to introduction, I'm not an author. I'm not even an aspiring author. I just happened to be in a situation where I thought that sharing everything that I know, it may be helpful for other people or businesses. So the idea behind it, because I was leaving the corporate world, and the idea behind writing the book was like, okay, you know what? I don't want to die with all this knowledge, because I had so many conversations with business owners. And basically, I realized that what I know, it's pretty unique, and it's actually can be really helpful, and this is why and how I started writing the book. The idea was to create an online course. And then, it's like, okay, so let's start with this small chapter. And then, oh, but I know something else. Oh, and I know this. And I talked about this and people found it interesting. And throughout the time, one chapter became like a massive, massive thing. It actually became a textbook. I can't call it textbook because people freak out. So guide is a kind of, it's a gentler way of calling what it is. But in reality, it is like everything you would need to know about marketing strategy, brand strategy, business strategy, communication strategy in a very easy to comprehend and easy to read language. So this is what it is.
Love that. I love if you could dive in a little deeper about what your book's about.
Right. So actually, what you're going to find in the book is 20 years of my business experience. So basically what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to walk readers through again everything that they need to know, all marketing fundamentals, that will help them to develop their business brand and communication strategy. I'm going through different chapters. I'm talking about portfolio. I'm talking about brand architecture. I'm talking about brand positioning. Every element is described in the logical order, so it's easier for people to follow the process. We talk about psychology. We talk about psychology a lot because that's the basically the foundation of marketing. It's psychology. It's not numbers. Um, it's also, cover opportunities or different ways of creating market entry strategy or growth strategies. There's a massive chapter about the brand expression because again, people think that how the brand looks and feels, you know, it's something that designers can create. But in reality, yes, it is created by designers or different types of professionals. But in reality, it's a reflection of what the brand stands for. So they can't live separately. It doesn't exist in the world. So this is why you have a special chapter that explains the fonts and colors and the different modalities. So, and then we finish with communication strategy. I'm talking about communication, about return of investment, about profitability. So basically, it's all one needs to know about marketing to succeed. And it's not only my thinking, because I don't believe it would be fair, to consider myself to be an expert. I'm also looking at research numbers. So whatever recommendation I'm coming with or suggestion I'm coming with, it's supported by research numbers. So it has validity. I was looking at different thought leaders in marketing. I was looking at articles by different professors. I was looking at Harvard Business Review predominantly, to see and, whether my ideas have validity. And they do. So because I found that we think alike. And I try to make it as objective and impartial as I could. So there's no opinion from me apart from my personal experience. So because all my recommendations come from the case studies that I used to run myself. That's why I'm saying it's like a proper textbook, but designed in a schemable format. So it's really easy to read. There's no water. There's no kind of me, going around circles saying exactly the same things. It's very down to the point. It's more like, you would have it on your desk, like a reference guide for whatever you would like to know about marketing.
Amazing. What inspired you to write your book?
What inspires me is actually the conversations with business and brand owners because I, when I had quite a few, to be honest, and there was like seeing the pattern behind the mistakes that they make. Um, and first of all, it was about understanding the pattern. And then when I started writing the book, I also did a bit of desk research, trying to understand what are exactly the mistakes are made by business owners, that didn't survive the first 3, 5 years in operation. And actually, these first 3 to 5 years, there's something that's called strategic planning. Right. So there's definitely a connection that if you have no strategy, there's a very high risk that your business won't survive. So I looked at all these mistakes, and when I made an analysis, when I done the analysis, I realized that the most of these mistakes they fall under brand and marketing. You do have a little bit in logistic, you do have a little bit in finance, but predominantly it's all about brand and marketing. And there's another thing that I believe people don't realize or they might have forgotten about. Um, when the business is as profitable as their brands or its brand, right? So when people believe that money is coming from sales, in reality, money don't come from sale, they come from brand contribution, right? Stronger your brand contribution, better is your business. And people don't buy because you sell, they buy because they want to, right? So your money into the business, they don't come from you selling, they come from people buying, right? It's a switch of mindset. And, because people forget about it, it's all about tactics, it's all about sales. And this is why you have so many mistakes. When you realize that it's about strategy, it's about long term planning, it's about getting to the destination, then things become easier and it's much easier to sustain the business longer term.
Love that. When you were writing your book, who were you thinking of when it comes to who your book is for?
That actually, it's a fantastic question because as a brand marketeer, I tried to figure it out. I talked to all my marketing friends because we had different opinions. So I initially the idea was to write the book for entrepreneurs and small businesses. And then they told me, oh, you know what? They're not going to read it. They don't care. Like, yeah, but there may be some people who would like actually to sustain their business and to make it profitable. You know, they're like, no, it's for senior marketeers because all my friends, predominantly, they're kind of already director level. Like, no, but I can't really teach senior marketeers, because I don't have, I don't know, enough, I don't know, name or whatever you're going to call it, right? Because teaching my peers, who am I to teach my peers? They're like, no, but we learned something new in your book. I'm like, right, okay, so they learned something new, which is good, still. So I still position it as small, medium-sized businesses or entrepreneurs, those entrepreneurs who needs to write business plans, right, to get funding. So this is predominantly the audience. The book also going to be helpful for business coaches, business consultants, that work with clients or branding consultants. So anybody in this business area who work with again clients who need help in this particular area, they also find it useful. If a senior marketeer reads it and finds something that they didn't know, that would be fantastic. But again, it's I wouldn't go that direction.
Love that. How long have you been writing and what made you really sit down and start?
Again, I wanted to create an online course because I thought that this is something that I want to do. And then with time, the concept was evolving from what it was initially meant to be. Initially, it was basically meant to focus on brand positioning solely. But then with time, I like, right, so I also have experience in this, and here we made mistakes, and here I heard people make mistakes. So, and with time, it just was evolving and was getting, bigger, bigger, bigger. And I guess the latest point I added was marketing mix because I really didn't want to go direction of marketing as marketing. But the problem that again I noticed, there are different marketing mixes that exist. So I created my own, and again, not out of vanity, but because marketing is changing and there are different things that we need to consider, to succeed in the modern world of marketing. And this is very important when you analyze your competition or when you create your SWOT analysis, to go through all marketing mix elements that are necessary for the business to succeed. So, and this is why you have like a slightly different view on the marketing mix, and this is why I added it. So people know what exactly customers want, because again, every point in the marketing mix is supported by research, right? So for them, it is an indication that it's something that needs to be paid attention to. So this is how it started, and this is how it's evolved.
Love that. What is your schedule like when you are writing a book?
Um, It was actually, this is what I've been doing. It was like my main pastime. So I treated it as my daily job. I was writing it from 9 till 5 or till 6, whatever, time I had. Because again, it wasn't only about writing, it's also about doing the research. So yeah. So I know that it's not recommended to dwell so deep into the process, but I guess I wanted to finish it as soon as possible. And then when it was growing along the way, I was like, okay, so I'm probably never gonna finish it. So I continued dedicated like 8 hours per day. Yeah, so it was a little bit brain numbing.
Love that. What do you need in your writing space to help you stay focused?
That is actually, again, it's a very good question because things have changed. Before, when I used to work in a corporate, I loved to work with music. Actually, the music it wasn't even like chill out, it was rock. And I was able to concentrate and to do what was expected from me. And lately, I realized that ideally, I need to be in silence. So for me to concentrate, yes, it has to be silence around me.
Love that. What is your favorite writing snack and drink?
I don't snack. Well, yeah, I try not to snack. And the drink is a green tea.
Love it. What type of books do you personally enjoy reading?
Um, Before I went into studying like all things coaching, therapy, psychology, and everything that I wanted to learn, the latest book that I read was around art history and religions. So I guess you can call it nonfiction, but in reality, it's not even nonfiction. It's just pure educational literature. And this is what I read if I read.
Love it. Are there any books or authors that inspired you to become a writer?
Not really, because I didn't want to become a writer. And I don't plan to become a writer. If ever happens that I have something else valuable to share, I may do it again. but I definitely don't plan to, turn it into a business.
Got it. What books did you grow up reading? Did you have an all-time favorite?
Yeah, so my first book I read when I was 4 years old, and it was The Wizard of Oz. And then somehow I believe that I switched quite on, obviously not at 4 years old, but a little bit later, and something that you would call French classic literature, about kings and queens and musketeers and this kind of historical romance. I think, that was I was predominantly reading when I was younger.
Amazing. On the other side of that, now as an adult, what are your favorite series or authors that if they come out with something, you automatically grab it?
Dalai Lama. Because as I said earlier, I don't really read fiction and I don't really read nonfiction. So I'm really opting for something that is educational. And I do have few interests, including art history and Eastern philosophy. So I guess, and therapists in the moment, I'm reading quite a lot about different types of therapists. So I believe in the future, it's still gonna be alongside these three directions.
Amazing. What would you tell someone just starting out with reading again?
If somebody is starting, I would say find something you truly enjoy, because if you don't enjoy it, you're probably going to be turned off very easily. And if you're motivated to restart or start reading, then definitely start with a book that you know is going to be enjoyable, doesn't matter what it is, so you don't get demotivated in the process. It actually happened to me, fun enough, because I was reading a lot when I was at school. And when I was at university, I had to read like 20 cycles of French literature in 1 year. It was totally insane. And after, school at university, I stopped reading because I got so much fed up, was having so much information consumed, not because of my choice, but because I had to, right? That it took me a very long time before I got back to reading. And that's why I know that, it can be demotivational if it's poorly chosen.
Love that. On the other side of that, what would you tell someone just starting to write their own book?
Do your research and know what you're into. Because I did. I honestly did my research. I watched so many videos. I found consultants like free courses. I got so much information and blog posts, and I thought I know it all. No, I didn't. And first of all, again, know what you're into. Secondly, check the legal side of things before you start writing, all about copyright and usage right, all that you need to know in advance what you can and what you can't do before it's too late. Learn about different platforms where you're supposed to upload the book so you know the requirements. So again, you don't make mistake already at a very late stage when you have redo everything. Yeah, that happened to me. Make sure you have enough budget allocated, because you will still need, even if you're a brilliant writer, and I don't doubt it, you may still need to pay for editor and a proofreader. um, Check the prices for designs. I did a design myself, but check the prices, because the whole thing, it adds up. And the funny thing that, you may find also some agencies that help you publish books, and compare the cost, because it may well be that even though you look at the agency like, oh my God, this is very expensive, I can't do it, I can't afford it, in reality, when you sum up everything that you need to spend separately, it may well be that there's no so much difference between hiring an agency and doing it all yourself. Besides, agency may help you with promotion, while if you do 100% DIY, the promotion will also be on your shoulders. So, that's something to be 100% aware of before you get on the journey.
Amazing. What's one thing that people are generally surprised to find out about you?
Oh my God, that is an interesting question. I don't really know for two reasons. Reason number one, I'm an open book. And secondly, I have no idea what happens in their heads. So, what they would find surprising or what they would find expected, because everybody going to have a different perception of me. So, I don't know, how they shape what they think about me. So, I don't know.
Amazing. Is there anything you would like to say or add?
Apart from that, I've been talking for such a long time. I well, I guess what would be helpful to know. I negotiated the discount on the book with the Great British Bookshop, and it's 50% off. So if you're interested or you know somebody who would benefit from knowing, well, all about marketing, um, then I would recommend to consider this discount, and I believe it's going to be featured under the episode. So this is something that, yeah, I wanted to mention. Also another thing that is important, probably, the book comes with additional materials. So it's a massive document. I don't know. It's around 100 pages document. So it's really everything that I couldn't fit into the book because it's already quite heavy. And all these complementary materials you can download free of charge from the website, as well as the first chapter of the book. So if you're hesitant about, whether you like it, you like the reading style, the writing style, whether, the content is something that you're looking for, at least you can get all these free of charge if you so want to.
Amazing. Where's the best place for readers to find your book? I know some readers love signed copies. Is that an option and the best place to connect with you?
So to find my book, you can find it on Amazon. If you are bookshop owner, you can order it through Ingram, or you can order it through the Great British Bookshop. So those are two main distributors. Um, what else? Yeah, book signing. I don't believe I'm up for that. With regards to where to find me, again, below this episode you're going to find all necessary information, the link where you can find me, where you can find the book, and where you can find complementary materials that you can use even without purchasing a book if you so want to.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for being here today. We're so grateful that we got to interview you. We'll be sure to drop those links in the show notes. That way, everyone can find you. And again, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Courtney. Thank you for the conversation.